Nearly a week after Election Day, a number of local races still up in the air. An update on the cities still waiting to find out their next mayors. Plus,
I lived here for 7 years. I never saw this before. So this time looks like getting serious.
it's an unprecedented crackdown on illegal sideshows, how one Bay Area city is trying to set an example for the rest. And California's first partner takes a stand in Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault trial. Jennifer Siebel Newsom's tearful testimony against the disgraced movie mogul. And a minor miscalculation turns into a major headache for San Francisco drivers.
You're watching CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Well, waiting nearly a week to find out who won some of the biggest mayoral races, and we're still waiting. The race for San Jose mayor just got a bit tighter. Matt Mahan's lead over Cindy Chavez has now shrunk to just under 2 points, and it was nearly 3 points just yesterday. It's an even closer contest if we head to Santa Clara, where fewer than 600 votes separate incumbent Lisa Gilmore from challenger Anthony Becker. The NFL has played a strange starring role in all of this race. The 49ers owner has put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the effort to unseat the mayor. Meanwhile, Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross is backing the incumbent. His real estate company is developing a project in Santa Clara. And if we head over to Alameda County, where we still don't know who's taking over for Libby Schaaf as the next mayor of Oakland. Shane Tao is still trailing fellow city council member Lauren Taylor, but not by quite as much as it was, as you can see there. She made up about 400 votes in the latest round of ranked choice calculations. Taylor is ahead by more than 2,300. And if we head to Livermore, John Marchand just widened his lead over Monty Knopp to 615 votes. The two had been on pins and needles since Thursday, when the last count had just them separated by 14 votes apart. Our John Ramos dives into this razor-thin race for us.
My downtown.
John Marchand is well known in Livermore. He served as mayor here until he was termed out in 2020. But now he's back to give voters what he says is a choice of an experienced candidate. Running against him is newcomer Monty Knopp, a local realtor who came to this country as a young boy and hopes to become the first Cambodian mayor in the state.
Here's a boy from a third world country running in one of the tightest races in America, really.
But Marchand says Knopp has the backing of some big money interests, making the former mayor feel like he is the underdog in this campaign.
My campaign has been outspent by the opposition 20 to 1. $1.2 million has been spent against me. So the fact that it's close, that speaks a lot to what I've been able to do in this community.
The campaign is over and the ballot counting has begun, but that's not as simple as it used to be. Register of Voters Tim Dupuy says of the county's 930,000 registered voters, only 30,000 voted in person, and about 200,000 absentee ballots were dropped off on Election Day alone. Those have to be sorted, processed, and have signatures verified, and a small number of those will undoubtedly have some errors that will need to be corrected.
So if we're dealing with a race that let's say it gets to where it's only 5 or 6 votes separating, those votes that we're trying to get from our remaining ballots could become significant, and those will take some time.
Both candidates say they understand, but the waiting isn't easy with such a razor-thin margin.
I believe that we did everything that we could, but personally, I wish I'd knocked on a few more doors.
And Marchand admits he misses the old days when results were known by the end of the night. Is that frustrating for you?
That part is frustrating. Yeah, I would like to have the answer sooner, but eventually we'll have the answer, and that's going to be the key, because the voters will have had their say.
In Livermore, John Ramos, KPIX 5.
Staying in Alameda County, which will have a new district attorney for the first time in over a decade. And in that race, Chief Assistant DA Terry Wiley leads by less than 1 percentage point over civil rights attorney Pamela Price. Now, you hear a lot about huge Bay Area sideshows where police are criticized for their lack of action. Well, that certainly was not the case in San Jose this weekend. KPIX 5's Devin Feely has all the details on an unprecedented laying down of the law.
The sideshow on Saturday took place at the intersection behind me here in South San Jose, and many of the people who live nearby say when this happens, they feel like virtual prisoners in their apartments and homes, and they say they're glad that the police are finally cracking down. Renee Carimian says he has lived in this apartment complex near Saturday's sideshow with his wife and 2 children for 7 years. Scenes like these, he says, are sadly not uncommon.
It's not easy to deal with these things, you know. That's why you said it's too loud, and sometimes they do fireworks here, so especially when it's after 12 a.m.
What set Saturday's sideshow apart was the police response. San Jose police say more than 100 officers flooded the intersection of Monterey Highway and Branham Road, blocking every conceivable exit. The sideshow drivers and spectators were boxed in, trapped, and ticketed, all 720 of them.
It's extremely difficult for the folks that live in these neighborhoods, and unfortunately some of these intersections are the ones that get targeted time and time again, like Monterey and Branham.
A city ordinance allows spectators at sideshows to be ticketed, a citation that could result in a $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail. The police department says the massive response requires coordination and a commitment of money and manpower, a challenge for a chronically understaffed department, but necessary to send a message.
Absolutely, we need the numbers, right? But if it wasn't for the heart of our officers to sit there and do the work and stay those extra hours, it wouldn't happen.
From the air, the tire marks left at the intersection look like a roadmap of chaos and inconvenience to the people living nearby. Renee says he has often thought of moving, but with sky-high rents felt like he was at the mercy of the sideshows until now.
They did something serious this time. So, which I living here for 7 years, I never saw this before. So this time looks like they've been serious. Hopefully they continue with this.
The police department says that the ultimate goal is deterrence, to send a crystal clear message to discourage others from holding sideshows like this one on Saturday. And we'll just have to wait to see if that message has been received. In San Jose, Devin Feely, KPIX 5.
Now, Oakland could become the next Bay Area city where sideshow spectators would face fines. The Public Safety Committee just voted to advance a measure similar to San Jose's to the full council. And that follows another sideshow just last night. In fact, video from Citizen App shows the activity near 105th and International Boulevards. There's no word on any injuries or arrests there. And at least a dozen local cities are already following San Jose's example in the last year or so. In fact, Vallejo, Pittsburgh, Antioch, Oakley, Santa Rosa, and Fremont, they've all passed ordinances targeting spectators and promoters, but not all of them are in effect just yet. And this is a statewide issue. Governor Newsom has signed 2 bills aimed at stopping sideshows. The first passed in 2021. It says that any sideshow participants or those helping them out could have their driver's licenses suspended up to 6 months. Another bill passed this year adds parking garages and lots to this list of locations where it can be enforced. But neither bill targets spectators, and they don't take effect until July of 2025. In other news now, California's first partner, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, she burst into tears in an L.A. courtroom today as she took the stand in Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault trial. Now, sketches from today show Siebel Newsom during her 15-minute testimony. Cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom at the time. She's accusing the disgraced movie mogul of sexually assaulting her in 2005 during what was supposed to be a business meeting at the Beverly Hills Hotel. The documentary filmmaker was an aspiring actress at the time. After being asked to identify Weinstein for the record, the 48-year-old looked toward the defense table where the 70-year-old was sitting and answered through tears, quote, "He's wearing a suit and a blue tie, and he is staring at me." Siebel Newsom testified she first met Weinstein at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2005. She said, quote, "I felt a bit intimidated. He was charming. He treated me initially like he was really curious about me. I felt like there was a genuine interest in talking about my work." During opening statements, Weinstein's attorney said Siebel Newsom had consensual sex with him to get ahead in Hollywood. He has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of rape and 7 counts of sexual assault involving 5 women and has denied engaging in non-consensual sex. Weinstein is already serving a 23-year sentence in New York. Siebel Newsom is the 4th woman to testify against him in this trial. Also an important note, We normally do not name accusers in sex crime cases unless they come forward publicly, which she did several weeks ago. On to other news around the Bay Area now. Holes in the ceiling of San Francisco's Broadway tunnel tonight after a crane raised the roof. In fact, take a look at this. Happened around 3 this afternoon in the eastbound part of the tunnel. Fire officials say there is no structural damage. It's just a big mess, as you can see. And in Solano County, Sassoon City Police are investigating a robbery at a cannabis dispensary on Railroad Avenue. They say 4 armed men actually held the employees at gunpoint and stole both the merchandise and money. Fortunately, no one was hurt, and so far, no arrests.